Hello and a warm welcome. It's Monday the 22nd of June on day 12 of World Cup 26. I'm Lee Anthony Davis and it's time for my World Cup YouTube channel. Right, let's start off with what's coming up. We got World Cup final score, sports report. We look at the group tables and tomorrow's matches, the contenders section, the quiz questions section, goal of the day, match of the day, and then we round off with news and weather. Right, shall we start then? It starts with the World Cup final scores, starting with Group J. Argentina 2, Austria 0. Jordan 1, Algeria 2. In Group I, France 3, Iraq 0, and Norway 3, Senegal 2. Right, it's time for sports report, and we start off with New Zealand against Egypt in Group G, which was yesterday's match. And both teams know there is no room for complacency now at the stage of the World Cup, at the group stage. There was nothing to separate them until the 50th minute when a New Zealand corner was taken and running into space came Finn Sermon with a powerful header to put New Zealand 1-0 up, and there it stayed until the second half. And Egypt started strongly when New Zealand defender McCallie fouled Ashore on the edge of the New Zealand box, and Salah took the free kick and just missed. Then in the 58th minute, when a cross came in from Haney and Zico met with a precise header to make it 1-1. Then on the 67th minute, Salah with a 1-2 with Zico slotted past goalkeeper Groken to make it 2-1 to Egypt, and then Egypt finish off New Zealand with a third goal from Trezor Gay 8 minutes from time to give Egypt 3 points and go top of Group G. Right, we're moving on now to Argentina and Australia, and a match really intensified, especially when Argentina has a player called Messi, as you know. And here is what I saw of the game today. Both teams won their opening games, and another will win. See the door to qualification. So whoever wins is going to qualify. I think it's going to be Argentina. Right, so let's give you the story. And predictably, it was the defending world champions and World Cup second favourites, and one particular individual, Lionel Messi, acted again, even though he missed a penalty earlier on. But it was in the 39th minute when Messi found the net with a pass going across the Austrian goal area, and that goal made him the all-time World Cup goal scorer, and with 17 goals. But Messi wasn't finished yet, and on the stroke of full time, Messi increased the record to 18 goals to take the match by 2-0. And more importantly, the champions have qualified for the round of 32. But the day belongs to Messi once again. Right, the next report is of another quality player, Kylian Mbappe. He was at it again as well. And so we look at Group I, where World Cup favourites France qualified to the last 32 with another win, and didn't take long to break down the Iraqi defence, as it was that man again, Kylian Mbappe, who scored from a strike from outside the goal area to put France 1-0 up in the 14th minute. And then in the second half, then Mbappe did it again, a mix-up at the back, and Mbappe ran onto the loose ball and placed it in the net to make it 2-0 and go 2 behind Lionel Messi with 16 goals. And France wrapped it up on the 66th minute from a pass from Alicia to Dembele, turned and hit it in the corner to make it 3-0, and now France go through to the last 32, and sadly Austria, and sadly I can't remember who's been relegated. France, Iraq, who else was it? Senegal. I think Senegal have been eliminated from the competition. Yes, I had trouble coming up with that one, but anyway, they and sadly they have been eliminated from the World Cup. Sorry, Iraq, not Senegal. Iraq. Even Senegal could still possibly do it to get third place. No, it's Iraq. It's Iraq. I promise you, it's Iraq. Iraq have been eliminated from the World Cup. What a shame. Anyway, moving on to Norway and Senegal. A real classic World Cup match in Group I, which saw a 5-goal thriller, and it was Marcus Pedersen that put Norway 1-0 up. Then Erling Haaland made it 2-0 to Norway at half-time. In the second half, Senegal pulled one back through Ismaila Sarr in the 53rd minute. Then Haaland restored Norway's 2-goal advantage, and then in the 93rd minute, Sarr got his second to make the final score Norway 3, Senegal 2. And that means Senegal are eliminated as well, as right, from the World Cup. And Norway join France in the last 32. Right, moving on. Let's have a look at the group tables, how this works out. We start with Group G. Egypt are top of the group with 4 points, with Iran in second place, along with Belgium with both 2 points, and New Zealand prop up the bottom with 1 point. But it's all to play for in the final game, because any one of those 4 teams could still possibly make the last 32. Right, moving on to Group I. This is the group that I've just done a report on. France have won it emphatically. They've played 2, won 2, drawn none, lost none, and they have a 5-goal difference, and they have 6 points. So there's no way they were going to get caught. Norway have joined them, and they have the same record, except they've scored 1 goal less. And poor old Senegal, who's given us entertainment over this World Cup, they have not qualified either, because they wouldn't make the top 8 teams that finish third. You've got to be in the top 8 to qualify. That's whether it's goal difference, whether it's, I don't know, goals against. But I'll work that one out tomorrow when the final second group matches have been completed. And I'll post up on the community post board. Anyway, going back to the Group I, poor old Iraq also said goodbye as well to the World Cup. They didn't have a particular, even when I said it in my earlier videos, Iraq haven't got a team considering the troubles that are going on in the Middle East, but they will give their heart. It wasn't going to be a massacre. They were good enough to hold their own, but they wouldn't be able to take on the quality of the teams like France, even Norway with Erling Haaland. But anyway, nevertheless, they did well, but they had a -6 goal deficit to make up, and that means they're not going to score 6 goals in their final game. And France are not, they can't catch France and Norway anyway. So that's the state of Group I. France, Norway, Senegal, and poor old Iraq at the bottom. Right, moving on to Group J. Argentina cemented their place in the last 32 with victory. So they've got two wins, no draws, lost none, goal difference +5 and 6 points. And Austria, they also Austria and Algeria look likely to follow them. Algeria won this evening, early this morning, 2-1. So they go joint second with Austria, so it's all to play for there. And one of those teams are most likely to qualify for the top 8 for the 32, the lucky 8 that will get in to the knockout stage of the last 32. Sadly, poor old Jordan didn't make it either. They have -3. They scored no. They I don't think they have a good goal difference. No, they don't. -3 and no points. So they haven't won a match. But they did give a good account of themselves, and congratulations to them. They did well. Sadly, they're going home as well after their final match. Right, so let's have a look at tomorrow's matches. In Group K, we've got playing in Houston Stadium in America at 6 p.m. live on ITV. Portugal, who have got off to a terrible start. Remember, they came up against Cape Verde and couldn't get that goal to cement their status as a top team in that group. And they'll be playing Uzbekistan. So that match is live on ITV at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Right, moving on, we're heading off to Mexico, Zapopan Stadium at 3 a.m. live on ITV, Colombia versus the Democratic Republic of Congo, who have been a surprise package in my opinion. They've done pretty well, and I would say that they could have a chance of getting up. Not forgetting old Cape Verde, they look a real giant killer to me, they do, and I think they're going to do well. They certainly have earned their right for the last 32. So anyway, playing on group tomorrow as well, Group L. I hear you say. Yes, it's England's group, and they're playing tomorrow live on BBC One at 9 p.m. against Ghana, who won their last match, so it should be interesting. But England, in my opinion, with Harry Kane, will have enough to see them off. But anyway, that match is at 9 p.m. on BBC One live. And in the other match, played at the same stadium, funny enough, will be the team that England beat 4-2. Croatia, they'll be playing Panama live on BBC One at 12 midnight at Foxborough Stadium in America. Right, moving on to the Contender section, and we've got the top 4, sorry, I do apologise, we've got the top 4 quickest goals. Here they are. Matthias Galaza, 1 minute 4 seconds for Paraguay. Second, Ismail Sabari, 1 minute 10 seconds for Morocco. And then we have third place occupied by Daichi Kamada, 4 minutes from Japan. And then finally, the previous leader was Michael Sadalek of Czech Republic, who was the first one to lead the board with 5 minutes. He's now currently 4th. Right, moving on to the longest time to score a goal in the World Cup 2026. I find it very hard to believe if this player is dislodged from this position, because I don't see any match lasting that long. 90 minutes plus 12 minutes injury time. What they're having, breaks, chocolate breaks or something, coffee breaks. Anyway, but it's this illustrious position belongs at the moment to Marko Arnautovic. 102nd minute penalty for Austria against Jordan. Right, moving on to the top 6 teams to score the most in a group, and leading the way is still Germany, 7-1 against Curacao. Then you've got Canada second with 6-0 against Qatar. Then comes Holland with a 5-1 thrashing against Sweden. And then Sweden with their own thrashing against poor old Tunisia with a 5-1 thrashing. And then we have a new team moving up. Spain, who had an abysmal match against Cape Verde, have now redeemed themselves with a 4-0 win today. And they against Saudi Arabia, and they are now on the top 6 leaderboard along with Japan, who themselves beat Tunisia. Sadly, it's not Tunisia's day. They won 4-0, and so they're the top 6 at the moment as it stands. Right, moving on to the top 4 teams to have conceded the most goals, and that honour lays sadly with Curacao with 9 goals. Tunisia also joined them at the top with 9 goals. And then in second place, you've got Qatar with 7, along with Iraq 7. Right, moving on. The top 6 teams to have scored the most goals in the World Cup overall. And that honour goes to Germany with 9 goals. Second is Holland. Third, well, with 7 goals. Joint second with Canada, who scored 7 goals as well. Third, there's a group of teams on third place. Japan with 6 goals, along with France and Sweden. Right, now let's have a look at the top 6 Golden Boot contenders. And we start with the man who's leading at the moment, and no surprise, Lionel Messi with 5 goals, who's also broken the record of the all-time World Cup goal scorer. He now has 18 goals, amazing, over the period that he's played in the World Cups. And also Kylian Mbappe has also been in a few World Cups. He's not far behind him. He's 1 behind him now on 4 goals, and he's close to becoming probably the greatest goal scorer of all time in a World Cup. He plays for France, as you know. And second, joint second, putting a claim to that, will be Erling Haaland. He scored 4 goals as well for Norway. And then we know about Carl Laren, who scored 3 for Canada, and also the hat-trick man, Jonathan David, for Canada, scoring 3. And finally, Denis Undov, who had one of the most best matches he ever did. Remember, they were 1-0 down to, I can't remember who it was, but it'll come to me in a minute. He scored the last second injury time winner, and he came off the bench as well. So he was a super sub, as they call it. And he is on this list with 3 goals as well. So that's the top 6 Golden Boot contenders. Right, moving on to the quiz question section. And remember, I asked in which match of the World Cup completely turned into chaos. I'll say that again. In which match of the World Cup completely turned into chaos? And the answer is Italy against the then host nation, Chile, in 1962. It was known as the Battle of Santiago, or another name for it, anarchy on the pitch. 2 players were sent off for punching each other to the ground. Another one started fly kicking everywhere. It was almost a mud wrestling tournament. You couldn't see bodies. You couldn't see the ball for bodies. It was out of control. It was anarchy, actually. The Chileans and Italians went mad at each other. I don't know why. They just bad decisions or whatever. But I think Italy lost that match to Chile, and I think that's one of the reasons why they got temperamental about it. But I remember David Coleman saying, "I've never seen such a bunch of idiots on a pitch in my life, a disgraceful display of football I've ever seen in my life." And this was the very first match to be broadcast on BBC in the World Cup in 1962, I believe. And it was an eye-opener, I can tell you. And that the referee who actually refereed that match was the man that brought out red and yellow cards. But I'm not going to tell you any more than that. He was the one who invented them. That refereed that Italy-Chile game, because the quiz question is coming up in a second, and it will connect you with that situation. That's why I can't reveal any more. Right, so I will reveal the question of what it is. And here we go. Which World Cup introduced red and yellow cards for the first time? Okay? Which World Cup introduced yellow and red cards for the first time? And I'll give you the answer to that tomorrow. Right, that's it. We move on now to goal of the day. Now, goal of the day is my choice of what I consider one of the best goals of today's matches. And in my opinion, goal of the day belongs to Kylian Mbappe for France against Iraq, with a powerful left foot shot into the corner of the net from the outside of the goal area. Fantastic! It just rifled in. It just rifled in. It was accuracy as well. Perfect. He had the space to shoot, and he did. And boy, that was goal of the day for me. Right, now, match of the day has to be the 5-goal thriller between Norway and Senegal. It had everything in it, and it was worth watching as highlights. So that is my choice for match of the day. Right, now we turn towards news and weather before we leave. And if you didn't know already, Keir Starmer has resigned as Prime Minister, and speculation is that Andy Burnham will take over as Prime Minister very shortly. So if you didn't catch that, Keir Starmer has resigned as Prime Minister. Right, moving on to sports news, and Lionel Messi makes history by scoring the 2 goals, which makes him the greatest World Cup goal scorer of all time. And now for the weather. It will remain sunny and warm for the duration of the day, and by tonight the air will be warm and humid. Right, I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you've got your own ideas what goal of the day could be. Don't forget, I've posted already on my community post board, so have a look on that on YouTube. And don't forget, Wimbledon's coming up, so I'll be doing something on that as well. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. This is Lee Anthony Davis saying thank you, bye, and look after yourself and have a fantastic day. Especially, it's hot out there, so be very careful. Drink lots and lots of water. Until then, bye for now.